I'm Mark Greenstein, director of Ivy BOund, and for long as my firm has been in existence, that's over 20 years, we've heard and read complaints that the SAT disadvantages minority students. And now that we're no longer stuck with the SAT, as many elite colleges are supposedly test optional, it's really especially time to assess this claim. Now, I'm going to use the term SAT to encompass ACT and the fairly new CLT. I'm not referring to AP tests, achievement tests, or the old SAT subject tests. Those were never widespread requirements for admission. The SAT, ACT, and CLT, in short, they are huge admissions helpers for ambitious minority students. At most universities, the SAT is also a significant helper to parents who are not wealthy. And more minorities are in that category too. The SAT is a bigger boost for minority applicants than anything else in history. And an elite college, once you get through those 4 years, is probably the greatest equalizer, putting merit on line with merit and wiping out your past circumstances, who you're born to, where you grew up with. A college degree from an elite 4-year college puts you in the mainstream of American success. Colleges that want to meritocratize do a disservice when they get rid of standardized testing. The SAT has never divided black and white. Colleges that recognize differences, and almost all of them do, have already made segmentation. What the SAT does, better than any other tool, because it is a nationwide standard, is discern differences between white and white, the ambitious and likely to be successful, and the less ambitious. The SAT will discern between black and black, the ambitious and the less likely to be ambitious. Now, anyone can spring up out of nowhere and turn themselves into a very accomplished young adult. But the SAT is a pretty good evaluator of what you've done so far in your first 16 or 17 years. Here's why the SAT, I think, is especially valuable for minority applicants. All students possess reasoning skills, irrespective of their high school. Those who enhance their reasoning skills with study skills, test-taking skills, time management skills, they end up performing well on a skills-based test like the SAT. It's highly ranked suburban high schools that rarely teach to the SAT. So it's why firms like Ivy BOund are in business. It gives ample opportunity and equal standing to ambitious students in not-so-good schools. They can take the SAT. It only costs $60. The cost to prep well for the SAT is $30 for a prep guide, free online access, and all of maybe $150 when an assertive school that engages firms like mine to have a class that focuses students on achievement. So now let's make a comparison. For what, $300 or $400, any student can be well prepped for a standardized test like the ACT. By comparison, cost of other college elevation opportunities, it far exceeds the cost of SAT prep. You want to outfit your kid for a sport. You want to attend a specialized summer camp. You want to venture abroad for an international experience. They all cost far more than SAT prep. Another way to assess how the SAT affects less privileged minority students. Just envision what elite admissions would look like without the SAT. Urban minorities right now have fewer college role models. They have fewer internship opportunities. They have fewer guides to navigate the other aspects of college admissions. And they have fewer of those elite sports that the colleges offer special places for, crew and sailing and golf and squash and lacrosse. So thanks to the SAT, a student without these opportunities has the chance to show her abilities and the ability to then stand within the college ranks. Nothing in the Western world is as great of an equalizer as the standardized tests that the SAT and now ACT have been providing. Colleges should think a fourth time, because I think they are reacting to a politically correct climate with an instinct that says, look, we want to be fair to less privileged kids. Recognize the SAT is a very fair way, especially if you're a kid who's been stuck in an underprivileged high school. The ability to show yourself on one test, the SAT, is a very fair way to let students put themselves in the running no matter what their background. I'm Mark Greenstein.